Why We Volunteer. Presented by Denise Flynn, Barbara McCarthy, Joe McCarthy, and Keith Wilcox. At We Belong Here. Rhode Island's 2024 Statewide Self-Advocacy Conference.
I don't know, it's 11:10. What do you think?
It's 11:10, so I think we should start, Keith.
Yeah, we could.
Do you
Yeah,
want to start, or do you want us to start?
yeah, I'm gonna start sharing
Thank you.
screen and you can start.
It says, make a difference, volunteering, presented by Joe McCarthy, Barbara McCarthy, Keith Wilcock, Don Burke, and Denise Flynn. And it shows all hands like with hearts on them, and it shows like waving and like cheering. Introductions: Keith Wilcox, Joe McCarthy, Denise Flynn, Don Burke, Barbara McCarthy. And it shows stars, and it shows like a little screen in with the names.
So do we want to do a quick introduction around?
Yeah.
We'll be talking. So Keith, I know everyone knows you, but do you want to start?
All right. My name's Keith Wilcox. I'm president of Advocates in Action.
Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Joseph McCarthy. I'm from the leader class 2024. And this is my mom. She'll be helping.
How about you, Denise?
Hi, I'm Denise Flynn. I work with Advocates in Action.
Okay. And
And she'll also be the DJ tomorrow night.
awesome.
Yes.
Hey, play some 70s music, would you?
So we can request our songs right
Got
now.
it.
Right, Denise?
Yes.
You can, yes, you can. You can send them to my email. I'll even put my email in the chat if you would like. And there is also a link on the website to submit requests if you want to.
Make sure we do We Are Family. That'd be great.
It's already on there.
Excellent. Okay. And I'm Barbara McCarthy. I'm Joe's mother. So I've been Joe's mother for 35 years, but that hasn't been my longest job. I worked at Bank of America for 40 years and I just retired. And so one of the things that Bank of America really advocated for employees was that we would volunteer. And so one day a month, they gave us paid time to volunteer, which is when I started my interest in volunteering. So today we're going to talk about a number of things. We can talk about identifying what volunteer opportunities might be good for you, how you can find volunteer opportunities. We have some folks who will talk about their volunteering now and what they do. And it's a great way to help the community and meet new people. So we're excited to be here and thank you for joining.
Questions for the panel of volunteers. I see question marks with little bubbles surrounding them. What do you do as a volunteer? How often do you volunteer? How did you find volunteer position you're in? What do you like most about volunteering?
Okay. Can you scroll down a little bit more, Keith?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. So here are some volunteer opportunities. I know Joe is going to talk about help in the soup kitchen. Is there someone else here that volunteers is going to talk about some of these other opportunities?
Special Olympics.
Okay, great.
If you guys want me to chime in at all, I'm Matthew.
There'll
I
be
can try.
questions later.
Oh, all right. Because I was going to say I volunteered on a fire department.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, cool.
I'd love to hear about that. That'd be great.
Might be a winner.
Okay. Well then, Keith, I think we can get started.
Yes.
All right.
Do you want me to start, Keith, or do you want to start?
Yeah, you can, Joe.
Can I actually start first, Joe? I'm going to preface everything and then you
Okay.
can talk about what you do. So I guess a couple things about volunteering. There are so many options available for volunteering. And I think the first thing people have to do is think about, what do you like to do and what passion do you have? Do you like working with animals? Do you want to help elderly people? Do you want to help people maybe rake or clean their yard? Like, what are the things? Do you like working with children? Do you want to read books to children? Like, what are the things that you have passion for, to try to match up the opportunities that are available? There's a great website, and it's called volunteermatch.org. And if you put that into your browser, volunteermatch.org, you can put in that you live in Providence, and then it brings up a list of ideas of things you can volunteer at. So some of the things it talks about is like animals, children, maybe if you have skills in computer or technology. There's some faith-based, like church things. Maybe you like working in the parks, there's opportunities there. Maybe you want to help veterans. Maybe you want to do some sports things. So it gives you a list of about 35 areas, and then you can click on those areas and it'll show you what opportunities exist. So if you can't kind of think about what I want to do, the nice thing about this site is it gives you some things to think about and think, maybe that is something I want to do. And so, remembering that volunteerism is giving of your time free, right, to help other people. It provides great reward. So Joe's going to talk about what he does for volunteering, and then maybe you guys will have some questions. Okay.
All right, everyone ready?
Yep,
Okay.
go ahead.
So hi everyone, I'm Joseph McCarthy. I'm going to talk about volunteering today. Volunteering is doing works for free to help the community. There are lots of different things you could do when you volunteer. I volunteer at a soup kitchen. A soup kitchen provides free meals for those who are homeless and are working poor. The kitchen I work at serves about 500 people a week. At the soup kitchen, there's lots of work to do. There are a chef and an assistant chef, and the rest are volunteers. We take turns helping others. Sometimes I prepare and prep food, like cooking hamburger or chopping vegetables. Sometimes I wash dishes. Sometimes I sweep and clear off tables. Sometimes I serve desserts. You just do what is needed. The people that come are very thankful for a meal. I see some of the same people all the time. It makes me appreciate what I have.
Thank you, Joe. Does anyone have any questions for Joe about working in a soup kitchen or a meal site? So Joe found this opportunity through me. So, if you have support people or family, they can maybe help you. I was volunteering at the soup kitchen and they needed some additional help. So I asked Joe if he wanted to come and help, and Joe said he would. And I have to say, they love having Joe there because Joe is very upbeat and positive. He's always willing to do whatever is asked of him. Joe, can you go down to the storage room and bring up 5 cans of tomato sauce? Joe, can you go out to my car and bring in the pastries from Wright's Farm? Oh, they always have fresh pastries from Wright Farm. Joe is just very flexible and willing to do that. And he's very strong. So, a lot of the volunteers are women. So it's great to have male volunteers to kind of do some of the heavy lifting. But it's just, a fun environment to be in. So Joe, how often do you
I
volunteer?
volunteer once a week.
Okay.
It's usually on Thursday.
Okay, and how long are you there?
I'm there from in the morning and from like 10 to
9.
9 to 2 o'clock.
Okay. And so you said there's things that you prep, right? And then you keep flexible.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell me, how does it feel to volunteer?
Feels good. It feels like I'm helping other people out. It feels like that I'm making a difference.
Great. And have you met some nice people?
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone's thankful.
Yeah. And even among the population that we serve, you've made some friends too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they know Joe. Joe knows them by name. One of the nice things about volunteering, particularly for people who might be having some challenges, is to make face contact and recognize them by name. So Joe has learned the names of some of the folks who come into
Yeah.
the soup kitchen for meals. And he's connected with them, which is really nice.
Mhm.
Okay. Anyone have any questions?
I think it's really cool so far what you guys have touched on. I did not know about the volunteer.org website, so
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. Good thing we
volunteer.
can help you out.
Yep. Volunteermatch.org.
volunteermatch.org. All right.
Yep. And put in-
Volunteermatch.org. All right.
Yeah, put in Providence, and then you'll see there's a long list of things to think about. So
Put in Providence in it.
Yeah.
So, being that I live in South County, would I put in South County?
Yeah, you can put it in South
Or-
County or whatever part of the state in Rhode Island you are in.
yeah,
All right.
you'd have to look at that and see what, I don't know if there are options in the drop down, but
So, if there's like options for South Kingstown or
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was assume that you would be able to put it.
yeah.
all right,
I'm just trying to see.
all right. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
So I'm going out to
Just
look at-
because I live in Charlestown, so I'm just wondering.
Lucky you.
Yeah,
Are
we
you
live
in-
where the new trolls were built in Integrat Park.
Nice. So
Yes.
I'm in the website now. So
She's checking for you, Matthew, right now.
county.
Thank you.
Rhode Island. So there's a Washington County, Rhode Island. Are you in Washington County? Do you know?
Washington County, yes.
Yep. So you can put in Washington County and then do a search, and it'll bring up options for you.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Yep. you're welcome.
Volunteermatch.org.
Yep.
Yep, that's it.
All right. Thanks.
You're welcome.
I
And
appreciate that.
There's probably other sites too, but that's a great place to start.
And it's .org, so you know it's trustworthy.
Well, and you know, the other thing
All
is,
right.
if you identify an opportunity that may be of interest to you, kind of like Joe and I go together, it's a great opportunity if, you know, you need transportation or whatever, to ask
Right.
somebody to go along with you, because that person who goes with you gets the wonderful opportunity of volunteering too. And
Nice.
we all feel pretty good about volunteering.
Nice.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there anybody else here that does any volunteering they want to share? I know, Matthew, you said you can talk about the fire department. Is there anyone else?
I actually volunteer at 2 different places.
Oh, great.
I volunteer at the Ronald McDonald House in Providence
Oh,
to
nice.
cook meals for families of sick children who need them. And it's not just me, it's me and a group of friends that do it. And I've been doing this, will be my 2nd year doing it. And I heard about the opportunity from a friend of mine that works at the agency that I'm a part of. And what we do is, it's basically an assigned meal of the family's choosing, and we get the ingredients and we make it for them.
Oh,
And
cool.
we also write cards of thanks for the Ronald McDonald House having us be able to be there to volunteer to help them out. And another cool thing about volunteering at the Ronald McDonald House is I found out they accept donated tabs from cans that will help them raise money for things that they need. So anytime I volunteer there, I make sure to bring the tabs
Hmm.
with me.
Oh, that's great. So you hear that, everyone? Start saving your tabs. We'll figure out a way to get there.
And if that's something you're interested in, you can actually go to ronaldmcdonaldhouse.org, and similar to the volunteer website, you type in your where you live and or your zip code, and they'll find a place that's close to you that you're able to volunteer at.
Well,
That sounds like a great opportunity. Do you get to see the families you serve, or are you like in the back in the kitchen?
We're in the kitchen, but some of the time when we're done cooking the meals, we get to go out in what I would call like a common room. I'm not sure exactly what the room is, and you get to see some of the people that are there. Like the very last time that I was at the Ronald McDonald House, we actually got to see a therapy dog and meet a little girl that was staying there. And that was very nice. And it, for me, volunteering at the Ronald McDonald House was very personable because I used to help out in shelters as well. So it was very nice switch to help people that need it in another way.
most definitely.
So I have a couple questions for you, Denise, but I'll wait and see if someone else does first.
Sure.
And
Anyone have questions, or should I jump in? So Denise, I bet you talk about this common room, right? Sometimes you see on the news that celebrities come
Yes.
to cheer up the children. So have you had an opportunity to meet any celebrities yet?
I have not yet.
But sometimes like the Patriots go, or Red Sox, or right,
Yes.
people show up to help cheer the children on. So that might be something that could happen someday, that you could bump into, who knows, an actor or something, right? That's what
That would be something.
that
That would
would
be
be.
awesome.
Wouldn't that be really cool? Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
that would be really cool.
I met a couple of actors in Patriots over the years, so they're pretty nice. So
Yeah, they are pretty nice.
Very cool.
Yeah, and Denise, you said you used to help in shelters. What was that?
Well, actually, when I was younger, before I got into the situation I am now, we actually, my mother and I, we used to actually be in a shelter. So I learned very young to help people, and I wanted to help people while we were there. So if someone was cold or hungry, I would ask the people that were running if I could help out in any way, and they actually allowed me to, so that was cool.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. That's a beautiful story, because you firsthand have known the difference volunteering can makes,
Yes.
and then you in turn volunteer. That's beautiful. Congratulations
Yes.
to you. You're a true leader. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And did you say you volunteered somewhere else too?
I in the summer coming up shortly, I'm going to see if I can do it this summer, but I used to volunteer at the YMCA,
And what
the
did
gym,
yeah, go ahead.
and I used to, all the kids where they would do basketball, I would make sure that they had the basketballs or water or the towels that they need.
Nice.
nice.
You like helping people, don't you?
Yes,
And tell me, how does it feel when you volunteer?
it feels great. It feels great. And not even just to be able to help them, but just to see the expressions on their face while you're helping them is awesome.
Wow, that's great. And it sounds like you've made some friends too. You said there's a group of friends that go together at the Ronald McDonald House. So you've probably made some
Yes,
friends and met some new friends.
yes,
Yeah, isn't that great? All right, that's
it's
wonderful.
awesome.
Proud of you. Great job.
Thank you.
All right.
You want to take it over, Keith
Well, or Matthew has something
or
to talk about
Matthew?
too.
Matt can go first.
Go ahead, Matt. Tell us about the fire.
Hello, sorry about that. Yeah, I volunteer on the fire department. Oh, used to for like 32 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah,
And what did you do?
but I went on fire calls, helped laid hose and stuff like that.
Oh,
Helped take ladders off trucks up until I had total reverse shoulder surgery in 2022, and then the fire chief was like, we don't have use for you anymore.
yeah, you have a bad shoulder. Do you live in a town then that is a completely volunteer fire department?
Yes.
Ah, okay. And how many people volunteer at the fire department? Are there a number of people?
Yeah.
And so what used to happen? Like you used to get a call or there was an alarm and you knew you were supposed to show up at the fire department?
Yep.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so in that job then, you probably made a lot of nice friends.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you probably helped out a lot of people.
Oh yes. A lot of people.
Yep. Great. And so what did you like most about that?
The people, the friends.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep.
So you find when you volunteer, I think, that although you're giving of your time and resources that and talents that you have, you end up getting more back because you make friends, you feel good about what you do, and it's a very rewarding activity to know that you can make a difference. Volunteering is just a great way to spend some time if you have time.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for
Yep.
sharing.
Sharing that.
No problem.
You up, Keith?
Yes.
Did I help, Keith?
Yeah,
I don't know. I might have.
You did.
Geez. Yeah, you did help that.
I might have helped Keith. Maybe.
Oh, geez.
You did
Yeah.
help me out.
So, well, we're going to talk about the Special Olympics.
Oh,
Special
I'll put
Olympics.
myself back on mute.
Yeah, go
Thank
ahead.
you.
Thanks. So Special Olympics, we're always looking for volunteers. So every year we're looking for volunteers for a lot of different events. Let's see. Through the year, we have a lot of fundraisers for them for it.
Keith, what kind of things you do for volunteering at the Special Olympics?
So you can volunteer a lot of different ways. Volunteer with your team, help coach. So right now I'm an athlete, but I'm helping coaching the sports I'm not doing. So we just coach the skills basketball for my team.
Cool.
But
So do you work with your local team or are you working with the central office out of, what is it, Lincoln?
yeah, you do with your local team.
Okay.
Um,
And if people wanted to find out about Special Olympics and teams they can join?
yes, you can go to their website, specialolympics.org.
Org is always a good place to start.
Yeah,
And
and then
I'm sorry, go ahead.
the other one I used to a long time ago, a couple of years ago, used to volunteer for the summer at the Rhode Park Zoo Botanical Garden
Cool.
when it was the small garden, not the big garden that it is now.
And what did you used to do there?
Do the plants, water, and stuff.
And you got free admission into the zoo, didn't you?
We never went to the zoo, but we stayed at the garden. But we got,
It would have been nice. It would have been nice.
yes, it would have. But we got 1 year we did meet one of the cheerleaders because they had their photo shoots around the zoo, around the park. So one of them came to the garden.
Wow, see, that was cool.
Yeah, that was years ago.
And what team was that from? Or what team
The
was that?
Patriots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's exciting.
nice.
Yeah, great. Anyone have any questions for Keith?
I'm thinking about I'm thinking about
Joining.
joining the Special Olympics soon. So it's gonna be
Yeah, we got a lot of teams.
yeah.
Olympics
I'm thinking about
teams.
doing Lincoln and Rhode Island one. So
Yeah. Yeah, we're and they're adding new teams too. We are adding a couple of new teams this year, every year.
Can you volunteer at their office in Lincoln? I know that's where like the hub is, right? Like where the major.
Yeah, Smithfield.
Oh, it's in Medfield?
Yeah, Smithfield.
Is that in Massachusetts?
It's in Rhode Island. It's Smithfield.
Oh, okay.
oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Oh, is that one with the on the highway where I think we.
It's where Bryant College is.
It's what?
Yeah,
Where
oh,
Bryant College is.
oh, snap, Brian.
Yeah, it's right near where my friend Ryan is. So
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, great. Okay. Anyone else?
anyone else
Yeah.
wanted to say anything or have any questions?
I
for
volunteer.
Okay, who's
I
that?
volunteer at my name's Tara. I'll go on camera, I'm sorry.
Hi, Tara.
I volunteer at NAMI, Rhode Island, which is a peer support place for advocacy. And we also run peer support groups. So we run groups on Zoom and in person that we're able to connect with each other. And there's also advocacy opportunities there. It's a very, very nice place. And when I went there, I was coming from the hospital a lot of times. And then I started to volunteer for them. And I didn't go back to the hospital since I've been volunteering for them. And they have a lot of education there too. So if anybody's looking for volunteer opportunities, you could volunteer for NAMI.
Oh, that's
It's
awesome.
National Alliance on Mental Illness. And another Advocates in Action friend, he also has facilitated groups there too. I just don't want to say his name because he may want to be anonymous.
Sure, we can mention my name. I facilitated groups there before. And I know, Tara, I need to come back to it. I know.
We miss you.
I know you do.
So do you
But I'm not trying to recruit.
I
do you
know.
need special training?
Yes, we have peer-to-peer classes, which
We're gonna
gives us insight about our own mental illness. And then we also have an opportunity to take a class to be able to facilitate our own groups.
And where is it located?
134 Waterman Avenue in Providence. But if somebody doesn't have access to leave their home or doesn't like to leave their home, they have Zoom groups.
Oh. Well, that's a great opportunity. Great, thank you for sharing that.
Also, Sherlock Center is always looking for board members.
Wow. Okay. Lots of opportunities out there.
Yes.
So one of the other things that Joe does, you want to talk about like when you visit Arlene and stuff?
Yeah, you can.
Joe and I have made friends with some elderly people in our community. And they're typically people who don't get out of the house a lot. They may live alone and they're kind of lonely. So Joe's actually adopted one of the women. She's 86 years old.
Yeah.
Pretty much calls her every day, calls her grandma, right, to check in to see how she's doing. She lives alone. We'll go over and visit her. We might help her do some of her yard work, or Joe might bring boxes up and down from her basement to her house, or help like get on step ladders and clean things that she can't clean. And that's actually been really nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of fun.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot of people who don't get out or live alone that are lonely, and just being friends with elderly can sometimes be very rewarding. And this woman we visit makes the best meatballs in the whole world, and she's always cooking for us. So there you go. There's a benefit. And so that's been kind of nice. And then the other thing that I do is I volunteer with my church. So I work in my church office one morning a week, just helping them with whatever, whether it's, I was there Tuesday and I needed to put stamps on envelopes and write on envelopes and fold letters and stick them in the envelopes. And I did a bunch of shredding. So not anything that required a lot of skills, but there are a lot of opportunities where you can help groups or organizations by doing, just some simple things. And honestly, it's a lot of fun and it makes a difference. So just something else to think about.
I hope people consider to volunteer after this, or try to at least. That'd be kind of cool.
What would you want to do? I'm sorry, help people?
Mhm.
I hope other people will want to volunteer after this after this Zoom meeting.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, volunteermatch.org. You like animals? There are a lot of animal shelters that could use people to go in and walk dogs or pet the cats, right? Or just keep them company because they get lonely and they need attention, right? That's always kind of cool. Any other thoughts on some of the other things that maybe people can do to volunteer?
If you don't want it to be a long-term volunteer, maybe you could find events that need volunteering, so it doesn't have to be a long-term commitment, like maybe Autism Speaks or the Autism Project. Those are just some places that I like. But sometimes the commitment is a lot for like a year or 2 years. So sometimes just for one day is good, like, or even Special Olympics, like on the day that they're going to be competing, maybe a registration table or something like that.
Yeah, you mean like part-time and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, they have that on their website too, to do short-term volunteering.
I also know something else that I see on TV. Make-A-Wish Foundation is hiring people to help grant wishes. So I think that would be really fun to give to somebody their dream and be part of that organization. I seen that. I was like, oh, that sounds fun.
Tara, you brought up a really good point, and so I'm just going to expound on it for a bit. So when you look for volunteer opportunities, right, you need to make sure that it matches with your ability and your time commitment. So it's a really good point. Like where Joe volunteers at the soup kitchen, there isn't a time commitment, right? If Joe next week said, I'm sorry, I can't come anymore because I got to work on Thursdays, it would be fine. They would miss him because I love him, but it would be fine. But an organization like NAMI, am I saying it right? Where maybe they've trained you, then they expect you to, spend a year or two there. So something else you need to think about when you volunteer. I would think if you go to like an animal shelter, there's no time commitment. Maybe they just say if you can come on Wednesdays, that would be great. But yeah, something else you probably should look at. Questions? Anybody ready to go volunteer now?
Raise your hands if you are.
It's a personal decision, and obviously,
Yes, it is.
yeah, and you have to give some thought to, do I have the time? Do I have the resources? What do I like to do? How often am I willing to do it? Am I willing to maybe give 2 hours once a month? Am I willing to give 6 hours every week? Whatever that is, right?
Make sure you have a ride there and back.
You need transportation, that's right. Or
Yeah.
maybe there are Zoom opportunities that you can do to volunteer. You guys are quiet.
Um,
Keith is not quiet.
I talk too much. I don't want to monopolize the group.
I know Scott, and you should tell them about all the jobs you used to volunteer for.
Oh, Scott, go ahead.
Oh, Scott, why are you so quiet? Go.
I don't know. I used to volunteer at Habitat Humanity.
Ah,
Go
okay.
quit a day job.
So, hold on.
Yeah, I
So
used
for
to
people who may not know what that is, Scott, can you tell us?
Habitat Humanity, like they build houses and stuff for people, and they have a store in Charlestown.
Ah,
Yeah, and like you can, they have all stiff stuff in there like stoves, wood, furniture, and everything.
yeah.
And they have somebody pricing them, and you put all the stuff away. And
Ah,
then
so-
sometimes vehicles come in, and you have to check the vehicle, see if they're good stuff or not to put out and stuff. And
Mm.
sometimes you have to probably lift heavy stuff too.
mm.
Mhm.
The volunteer Habitat for Humanity was started by President Jimmy Carter, which was
Mm.
well before your time, because I voted for him back in
Yeah.
1976. So it was a long time ago.
I think he was the president when I was born.
Okay, yep. So 1976 to 80, I think, he was president, or maybe it was, yeah, something like that. But yeah, he started Habitat for Humanity, and it's an amazing organization that is not just in Georgia where he lives, but I don't know if it's global or if it's just in the United States, but they're still very active. And so when I worked at the bank, one of the volunteer opportunities we had was to help build houses. You know, and not that I know how to build a house, but I can put a nail in a piece of wood if they tell me what they need to do, right? To help build homes, which is really something to think about. You can actually give people houses. It's cool. Well, that's very cool, Scott.
Awesome
And
stuff.
then another one I used to volunteer is Meals on Wheels. You can volunteer.
You wanted to do that for a while, didn't you, before, Mom? Meals on Wheels?
I did because the elderly, so I had to identify what my passions were. It was the elderly, it was the homeless, and it was children. So the Meals on Wheels, I felt fell into that elderly bucket. And though I don't volunteer for them, I do something for the elderly. It's a wonderful organization. What did you do for them, Scott?
I used to go there, pick up the meals, and I used to go with somebody, and we used to get like a schedule, and we used to get a list where we have to go and drop the meals off to people's houses or their apartments or anywhere.
So you don't need to drive. You can buddy up with someone if you volunteer.
Yeah.
Do you still do that right now?
No, I don't do it anymore because I got a job with African Action right now.
Mhm.
Oh, okay,
I have a job with them.
great. Thank you for sharing.
So sometimes
Yeah,
when you
and
volunteer,
sometimes you can't. Sometimes the elderly like to keep talking with you, and you can't get out there to deliver another mail. Sometimes
It's true, and it's because they're
because
so lonely.
yeah.
So I bet, Scott, when you deliver the meal, though, you make their day because they have interaction with you. You've got
Yeah.
a great smile, right? You probably make them happy.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
After Scott.
Yeah,
that's good. Sorry.
then sometimes like they make up like for winter they have these kits. They make up these kits. They can keep all winter long. Like if Meals on Wheels shut down, they have kits for them. we deliver.
Hmm, very good.
Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead, Tara.
That's a great one.
Hmm.
Tara?
When listening to Scott talk, it reminded me of something that volunteering can be a good way to get experience to secure some employment.
Hmm.
So if you volunteer, you have things to put on a resume. Maybe if you wanted, you could find a job that aligns with the volunteer experience,
Good point.
or it could show the commitment that you have.
Really good point. Anyone else?
Good job, everyone.
Hmm.
All right. Don't forget to schedule volunteering in your individual support plan. I see a, a person with glasses have a folder with hands raising in the air as a picture, and she's raising her hand.
Mhm. And that's something, Joe, you've always had in your plan too, right? That you would, help other people out. So yeah, volunteering is a great thing to make as part of your plan. Yep.
What about you? Are you interested in volunteering? I see people raising their hands with hearts above them, trying to grab them or whatever. I guess that's what they're doing. Um, that's volunteers needed.
That's really a good point because volunteering is really an activity of the heart, right? When you volunteer, you're giving of your time, which means that you're a compassionate person who really cares about other people. And so, I mean, it makes sense that there are hearts because really what you do makes a difference
Yeah.
in the lives of people.
The end, right, Keith?
Yes.
Volunteering is good. It's good for networking too. It's a lot of volunteers. I started volunteering a lot, and then I find myself in rooms with big people that I feel like maybe I shouldn't be sitting at that table, but I'm at that table because of all the volunteer work that I have done. I've made it to a spot that they give me a seat at the table so they can hear my input. So it's really good to be able to volunteer because it's fulfilling, and then you get to meet new people along the way, and then those people that you meet along the way, they can help in other areas of like our lives or maybe even other organizations that we're attached to.
That's good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I guess Keith, at some point we
I
go.
don't want to put
Oh,
I
go
don't
ahead.
want to put Keith on the spot, but I know of another organization too that I'm sure he's aware of and has known in the past. Keith, do you want to touch a little bit on that one?
Oh boy, put you on the
Colors,
spot.
colors for a cause.
Oh, yeah. Well, I haven't done it recently, but I used to do help out colors for a cause. If for people with childhood cancer, it's a fire truck that goes all around the state, all around Rhode Island. And it's, I think, and just awareness for childhood cancer.
Do you get to ride in fire trucks?
I did, yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I
cool.
got right in going
I've been
to
in
the
fire trucks.
place.
That's cool.
And they've been in parades, so people got ride on it during the parade.
Very cool. And for
Sorry, Keith.
Yeah, no problem.
no, it's great because there are so many different things you can do to volunteer that you don't think about until people share. So that's a great one, particularly if you like
And
fire trucks and you want to help
that
people.
fire truck is down in my neck of the woods. It's in Charlestown.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. That's cool,
There you go,
Matthew.
Scott.
What do you think
Yeah.
about that, Scott?
Yeah, he's not a big fire truck guy, but it's a good cause for
Yeah.
people with cancer or illnesses.
Get me a lot of new people, a lot of people, and tell them their stories about it.
Definitely.
It was nice.
I think it makes you realize when you volunteer how blessed we are. Life may not be perfect, right? And everybody has their challenges, but the fact that we can do so much, you can advocate for yourself, right? And you look at some of the struggles people have, you realize how really lucky you are. So it's good to step out and help other people.
Definitely.
Okay, I think, Keith, we need to go back to the main room.
Well, have you seen the time
Oh, she's
yet?
gonna.
Yes. Yeah, we got 5 minutes left.
All right, because I don't see it that way. I'm asking.
Yeah, I see it. We got 5 minutes left.
All right.
Let's party.
Don't anybody want to talk that haven't talked? A couple people that haven't talked yet.
I see Deanne has a question.
No, it was more so a statement. I also, as we were talking about other volunteer opportunities, and it got my brain thinking. I also used to volunteer for the Volunteer Center of Rhode Island, and I used to write newspaper columns for them. Like they would give me what to write, or like a outline of what to write, and I would write it. And I would also well, I volunteered for MetLife, which is like answering phones and telling the hospitals locally, like if they were running low on something, what they needed, and counts for it and stuff like that.
Oh, you've done a lot of volunteering. So how have you?
That was
How do
that
you
was
find?
during high school.
Well, obviously, it's been a passion of yours for a number of years. So
Yeah.
how have you found your volunteer opportunities?
Well, those ones I had just mentioned, I got blessed enough to have connections during my high school that saw that I liked helping people, and they kind of hooked me up with the Volunteer Center of Rhode Island. And the Ronald McDonald House kind of the same kind of thing, where someone in my agency asked me if I would like to volunteer for the Ronald McDonald House, and I asked her what it entailed and how could do it. Because at first I was kind of concerned that I wouldn't be able to reach many things because of my wheelchair, but it's very low level, so I was able to do it.
Well, thank you. I didn't even know about that. So I just looked it up. The Volunteer Center of Rhode Island, www.vcri, Volunteer Center of Rhode Island, vcri.org.
Yes.
I didn't even know about that link. That's a great one. Okay.
What is it, Denise? Can you say that again?
It's the Volunteer Center of Rhode Island.
Volunteer Center of Rhode Island.
Yes.
And what's the website for that?
It says www.vcri for Volunteer Center of Rhode Island.org.
Can somebody send that to me in a text? Maybe Keith.
Do you want to
Keith,
put in the
could you
comments
send
section,
that?
Keith?
Well,
You can write in the
It'd
comments.
be easier if I had
Keith, we're down to a minute left.
my
Then.
phone.
But you're breaking
Maybe
up
Keith
now,
can
Matt.
text it to my phone.
Yes.
Yeah,
Keith, could you
just
do that for
text
me,
me
Tara?
because you're breaking
I
up.
wanted to see if somebody can. All right. You got it.
Well, actually, I'm not sure if that's a good link because look at it, says the webpage not available. We'll have to find the good link. Okay. All right. Well, thank you all for participating in this call and this
Thank you,
session.
everyone.
Thanks for sharing.
Yay.
That was
Good
really
job.
that was
Mhm.
great, helpful. Proud of all
Yay.
of you. Good job.
Make sure you don't press the blue button when you leave.
Great outcomes. Don't press it.
They switched them around. So
You will
Just leave
automatically
breakout room.
in 29 seconds.
29, 27, 26.
Yeah, it brings everybody back if they don't.